Troops crush Boko Haram assault, capture weapons on Borno highway. Fuel price hike pushes Jos tricycle riders out of work. 4 teenagers drown in Jigawa Pond. And on the international scene, 6 dead in Rwanda as Marburg virus spreads. Hello there and welcome to the news hour on Trust Television. My name is Sakir Ibrahim. Now the news in detail. The multinational joint task force operating under Sector 3 said it has intercepted a group of Boko Haram terrorists en route to launch a deadly attack along the Maiduguri axis. This was contained in a statement by Chief Military Information Officer MNJTF in Jamena, Chad, Lieutenant Colonel Olani Oshoba to newsmen in Maiduguri on Sunday. According to Oshoba, the troops acted on credible intelligence. The troops executed a tactical ambush, neutralizing the threat before the terrorists could wreak havoc on innocent civilians. Following the intense firefight, the troops combed the area and recovered an arms cache, which included 2 AK-47 rifles, 51 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 2 magazines, 61 rounds of 7.62 NATO ammunition, and various contraband items including marijuana, tramadol, and a cigarette pack. He noted that the operation further highlights the task force's unwavering commitment to safeguarding the lives and property of citizens within its area of responsibility. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has announced plans to discipline and potentially dismiss Mekano Serkin Tasha, an officer arrested for allegedly supplying ammunition and drugs to bandits in Zamfara state. The state commandant, Sani Mustafa, made this declaration during a press briefing at the command headquarters in Gusau. Emphasizing the NSCDC's zero tolerance for indiscipline and corruption, Mustafa noted that the Corps regularly enforces its standard operating procedure to regulate personnel behavior. He stressed that the officer's misconduct does not reflect the values of the Zamfara Command or the Corps as a whole. The commandant explained that Serkin Tasha had previously been reported for an irresponsible attitude towards his duties, which prompted efforts to track him down. Preliminary investigations revealed that he was apprehended at a checkpoint between the Damba and Sabongida areas while allegedly in possession of cannabis and other hard drugs. Additional searches of his residence uncovered 3 G3 rifles, an anti-aircraft gun, and a total of 4 rounds of ammunition. Mustafa stated that he would collaborate with the Zamfara State Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Dalijan, to ensure thorough investigation, prosecution, and the enforcement of appropriate disciplinary measures against the officer. Tricycle riders in Jos, the Plateau State capital, are facing job losses due to the recent fuel price hike and the instability in fuel prices. The riders lament that the increase in the cost of PMS has made it challenging for them to sustain their livelihoods and provide for their families. Trust TV's Ado Musa completes the report.
The recent total removal of fuel subsidy by the government has profoundly impacted all aspects of life, prompting widespread lamentations among Nigerians. In Jos, tricycle riders expressed concern over the rising fuel prices, stating that the situation has forced hundreds of their peers to abandon the business as it is no longer profitable.
Bisa ga yanayin yanzu fasinja ma sun yi karanci kuma yadda suke biya da haka suke biya yanzu kuma.
Due to the ongoing economic hardship, we are no longer attracting as many passengers as we used to. Even those who still ride with us often ask for discounts, leading to arguments if you are not patient. Moreover, the fuel dispensing machines have been tampered with. We pay 1,150 naira per liter, but it barely takes us anywhere. Honestly, the fuel hike has hit us hard. Previously, when fuel prices range between 190 to 200 naira, we charge 200 naira for trips from the University of Jos to Terminus. After the fuel surged to 600 naira, we increased the fare by just 50 naira. Now, with prices exceeding 1,000 naira, we still only collect 250 naira from passengers. We can't keep absorbing these losses. Additionally, spare parts and maintenance costs have skyrocketed by over 300%, forcing many out of the business. It is a constant battle between soaring fuel prices and skyrocketing spare parts costs. To make matters worse, passengers often claim they can't afford fares, leaving us to barely scrape by. The riders also noted that the situation is hindering their ability to pay their daily balances to the tricycle owners.
To gaskiya balas in ba mutum ya jajirce ba, gaskiya balas
This time we can't pay the balances we used to. Most of us are not tricycle owners. We ride and pay the balance at the end of every service day. However, with the fuel price hike, it is challenging to source funds for the balance and still afford food for our families. This is why riders often quarrel with tricycle owners during payment. In many cases, the tricycle owners do seize the tricycles. Many have left the job, and only a few of us who own our tricycles manage to walk. The traders are calling on the government to take action that will alleviate the hardships faced by everyday citizens in the country. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The splitting of cattle routes, grazing reserves and encroachment on forest reserves are key factors fueling conflicts between farmers and herders in northern Nigeria. These issues, which have disrupted the long-standing peaceful coexistence between the two groups, have led to frequent disputes and clashes. Abdullah Yamadi reports that the Katsina state government is making concerted efforts to restore peace and harmony between farmers and herders. His report.
The initiative also aims to reconcile long-standing tensions between farmers and herders, removing barriers that have hindered their peaceful coexistence, particularly in Katsina State. The government emphasizes that farming and livestock rearing are interconnected, requiring mutual support for the development of both sectors. Governor Diko Umaru Rada has tasked the Secretary to the Government of the State, Abdullahi Garba Faskari, with the responsibility of reclaiming cattle routes and grazing reserves that were previously split, disposed of, or encouraged upon by farmers. This effort is part of a broader plan to restore harmony between the two groups. The committee has already visited Dusima, Mashi, Maiadua, and Kaito local government areas to address complaints from herders accusing farmers of encroaching on cattle routes. After hearing from all parties involved in the affected areas, the committee directed the concerned individuals to vacate the disputed lands immediately to restore peace.
There were cattle routes which leads up to Niger, and the allegation was that some part of it has been converted into farmland. So we called the herders and we called the farmers and we called the chairman, local government, Miadwa. In our office, the problem was brought down and we directed the chairman to go back and ascertain the truth or otherwise of the allegation. And if indeed a cattle route has been converted into a farmland, they should clearly designate out the farmland, the cattle route, and whoever has planted on that for the plantation to be removed. And that was our instruction.
The Secretary to the Government of the State also instructed all local councils and pastoralists to identify other grazing reserves and cattle routes that have been split or converted to farmlands for retrieval. Earlier, some concerned Katsina residents eager for peace and reconciliation praised the state government for the initiative, affirming that peace can only prevail if the delegation acts with fairness and justice for all parties involved. If you truly understand the situation, over 7 hectares of land that used to be cattle roads are now inaccessible. We can no longer move freely with our animals, and the entire area has been converted into farmlands, posing a serious threat to herders here. and those traveling to neighboring states. Finding a single water point in this area for our animals to drink has become a major challenge. The entire space has been taken over by farmers, and if our animals accidentally enter any farm, it causes serious problems. We commend the government for this initiative and hope it will be sustained. Some public commentators in Katsina, however, expressed concerns that the ongoing encroachment of cattle roads and grazing reserves will only be permanently resolved if the government takes decisive action against local government forestry officials, traditional rulers, and other top functionaries who have exploited their positions for personal gains. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And 4 teenage girls drowned in a pond in Malkaderi village, Nasarawa local government area, Jigawa State on September 28, 2024. Police Public Relations Officer DSP Lawan Shisu Adam reported that the victims identified as Sa'ina Musa, Fidausi Ado, Habiba Musa, and Bahija Musa were among 5 friends swimming in the pond. An 8-year-old girl, Sahura Audu, was rescued and hospitalized but later discharged. Local divers assisted in the rescue operation, but the 4 victims were pronounced dead at Gagarawa Primary Health Care Center. Commissioner of Police CP Abdullahi A.T. extended condolences to the families and emphasized the need for parents to monitor their children's activities, particularly during the rainy season. The police also cautioned against swimming in ponds, rivers, and streams due to increased water volumes during this time. Also, 13 persons have been confirmed dead following a cholera outbreak in Ebonyi and Easy local government areas of Ebonyi State. 10 persons were confirmed dead from the disease a few days earlier. But while briefing newsmen in Abakadiki, the Ebonyi State capital, Commissioner for Health Moses Ekuma said 3 more deaths have been recorded and about 69 cases reported. Akuma said that others affected are responding to treatment at the different treatment centers activated within the communities affected in Ebonyi and Easy local government areas. According to him, the state government's swift response and approval of Governor Francis Nwifuru to procure medical commodities were important steps made in addressing the outbreak. The commissioner encouraged residents to report any suspected case to the ministry's health center for disease control, an accredited local health facility, for guidance and updates on prevention and treatment, while urging residents to practice preventive measures. And also, residents of riverine communities in Anambra State are advised to relocate to higher ground for their safety. Nuru Kobi, representing the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, made this call during a flood safety sensitization program, citing the overflow of the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. Kobi urged residents to stockpile emergency supplies, including food, water, and medicines, as water release from the dam has led to rising river levels and flooding in some regions. Historical flooding incidents in Nigeria have caused significant fatalities and property damage. The Cameroonian authorities are currently releasing 5 million cubic meters of water daily, increasing flood risks. Kobi emphasized prioritizing the safety of women and children and noted that the NOA is mobilizing officers to educate communities on flood preparedness. Local leaders, including Ima Obi, have called for government action to address long-term solutions such as dam construction and embankments. Also, the Daily Trust Foundation has donated 10 million naira to the Borno state government to aid flood victims affected by the disaster, which claimed lives and displaced millions. The foundation's delegation, led by Media Trust Group's director Manir Dan Ali, visited the Borno government house and expressed sympathy for the victims. Dan Ali conveyed the foundation's solidarity with the people of Borno and offered prayers against future disasters. Governor Zulum, while appreciating the foundation and their ongoing partnership, assured that the funds would be judiciously utilized for the benefit of the flood victims.
The relationship between the NSCDC and the government and people of Bayelsa has been in existence for a very long period. We acknowledge the receipt of support from the NSCDC and your foundation, and rest assured that we shall make judicious utilization of what you have given to us. Although you came here for a security visit, I also want to bring to your kind notice that there is one assignment that was presented to me last time that we need to conclude. Inshallah, very soon, we shall conclude this.
We would like to hand over to Your Excellency because we feel that we could do more. Because Borno has shown a lot of consideration for us. Borno has been like a father to us. That is why at the time, Borno hosted one of our own printing presses. And now that we are into TV, it also has one of our important offices right here in Maiduguri. So please rest assured that at all times, Borno is us. We are Borno.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have successfully arrested two notorious drug kingpins recently declared wanted. Ajiboye Samo, also known as Nagod, and Alhaji Bashir Talba, a community leader, were apprehended in Ogun and Lagos states on September 25th and 27th respectively. According to a statement from NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi, Samo had been evading arrest for 12 months after a significant raid on his warehouse in Lagos, where 1,101 kilograms of the potent cannabis strain known as Ghana Loud was seized. His capture occurred at a bank in Ogun State after extensive tracking of 20 bank accounts linked to him. In a related operation, NDLEA officials arrested Alhaji Bashir Talba along with his two wives Hawa and Asmao and their son Sadat after discovering 226.2 kilograms of cannabis at their residences in Badagry on September 18. Additionally, two ex-convicts, Muhammad Machido and Zakari Buhari, were apprehended in Katsina State. Machido was caught on the Kanu-Katsina highway with 51,000 opioid pills, while Buhari was arrested in Daura with 7 kilograms of cannabis. Buhari, who had previously been convicted and fined, and Machido, also a former convict, had both returned to the drug trade. In another significant development, Ejiofor Chiwuzie, an automobile spare parts dealer, was arrested for attempting to export heroin and cannabis concealed in lead rechargeable lamps and metal sofa legs at Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. His cargo, destined for Liberia, included 37 parcels of heroin weighing 1.10 kilograms and 4 blocks of cannabis weighing 1.20 kilograms. And similarly, operatives from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had in the early hours of Saturday conducted a midnight raid on some private hostels of the Usmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto, leading to the arrests of an undisclosed number of students. Eyewitnesses who spoke with newsmen on condition of anonymity revealed that the raid occurred in Kwakwalawa and Gidanyaro communities area within the campus. He said dozens of students were picked up by the EFCC operatives. Some of the students say the EFCC operatives did not provide any explanation for the arrests or produce any warrants. Meanwhile, a senior staff of the school who spoke anonymously because he was not authorized to speak with journalists confirmed that no fewer than 40 students were arrested during the raid. He, however, disclosed that after some level of investigation by the agency, 30 of the students have been released, with 10 of them still with the agency. When contacted, the spokesperson for the EFCC, Dele Oyewale, confirmed the arrest of Udu's students to Sunday Punch. He, however, stated that only 13 students were arrested in connection with internet fraud. The 2 locations where the arrests were made were outside the school, and only 13 of them were arrested. They are suspected internet fraudsters, he added. You're watching the news hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we take a look at how modernization is phasing out household traditional utensils. This and of course more stories when we return. Join us again. Thanks for staying with the news hour on Trust Television. Here's a recap of our top stories again. Troops crush Boko Haram assault, capture weapons on Borno Highway. And fuel price hike pushes Jos tricycle riders out of work. Moving on to other stories now, the Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested 2 suspects in connection with the theft of a 7-day-old baby and multiple motorcycles. Police spokesperson DSP Rahman Nansel said operatives from Kefi Division apprehended Khadija Aliyu on September 28th for stealing a newborn during a naming ceremony behind INEC office in Kefi. Aliyu, who had falsely claimed to be pregnant, sneaked into the house during the event and took the baby while it was asleep, concealing the child with a veil before fleeing. She was later caught. In a separate incident, police also arrested ex-convict Husseini Muhammad for stealing 3 motorcycles at Angwanlambu, Kefi. Muhammad, recently released from prison, was found with the stolen motorcycles, which were recovered as evidence. The Nasarawa Commissioner of Police, Umar Shehu Nadada, has urged the public with missing motorcycles to visit Angwanlambu Police Division with proof of ownership to claim their property. The suspects will be charged to court after investigations are concluded. And also, most utensils such as pots, buckets and tankers were traditionally made of clay and served as reliable tools. However, modernization is rendering these tools less relevant. As a result, both young and elderly community members have increasingly turned to rubber and steel alternatives, driven by concerns that traditional clay utensils easily break. Trust TV's Hassan Kohli brings details.
Many elderly individuals, once passionate about using traditional tools, are now turning to modern alternatives, especially for domestic chores. Malam Idris, a 65-year-old resident of Gombe, shared that he has been compelled to use modern water tankers and forts at home, fearing that his children might damage the traditional items. The use of traditional forts was beneficial in our time. Cooking with clay pots made dishes taste better, and we enjoyed cool water using our methods, which were healthier than drinking from refrigerators. Unfortunately, I have had to switch to modern utensils because my children often break the traditional ones, and I cannot afford to keep replacing them due to the current economic conditions. Avoiding traditional tools, especially water tankers, is unfortunate. Nowadays, you can only find them in certain rural areas. I remember how we used to get cool water during hot weather, but people now rely on refrigerators, which can be unreliable due to frequent power outages. I believe it will be better to return to our traditions to tackle many modern issues. For youths like Adamu, traditional tools seem irrelevant in today's world, yet he fondly recalls the days spent with his grandparents. I still remember when we were children, drinking cold water from clay-made containers called randa at our grandparents' houses. However, as a young man now, I cannot say I use any because we don't have them in our home. Many elderly people believe that despite the convenience and portability of modern tools for domestic chores, Traditional ones play a vital role in preserving cultural heritage and promoting community health. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
Members of various communities in Bauchi State have urged the State Environmental Authority to take proactive steps in preventing outbreaks of cholera and other diseases following heavy rainfall across much of the state. This appeal was made during the maiden delisting and desilting and fumigation exercise launched over the weekend as part of the monthly sanitation efforts. Trust TV's Adamu Imam was on the ground and now reports.
The recent heavy rainfall in Bauchi State, particularly affecting 16 local government areas in the northern senatorial district, has raised significant concerns. In response, the State Environmental Protection Agency, in collaboration with community members, has initiated a comprehensive desilting of culverts and fumigation exercise statewide. Community leaders are calling for more than just ceremonial actions, urging total evacuation efforts to protect all affected residents.
We will fully support the desalting and clearing of all culverts across affected communities. I have made a strong appeal to all relevant stakeholders to ensure proper supervision throughout the sanitation exercise without any bias. We have even informed community members about the upcoming fumigation to prevent a malaria outbreak, and those responsible must take the necessary steps to ensure its success.
It's very, very beautiful. Very, very, very nice. You really organize something which will wake our people.
That the agency realized the need for that, and they requested that His Excellency should provide the funds for that. So as far as we are concerned, this is the right time. We are not only evacuating, the drainages for the pre-flow of the rain water, but every water that the sewage system and whatever. So it's not late, and I believe you are going to see the impact of this activity at this time. And I want to tell you, scientifically, most of the waters that we receive at the early onset of the rainy season and also towards the end of the rainy season, that's where we have a lot of problems because they are terrestrial in nature and they come with certain diseases.
However, they emphasize that involving youth is crucial for helping them recognize their importance in fostering growth and development within their communities. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The need for mass planting of trees in Nigeria to avert the adverse impact of desertification and climate change has been re-emphasized. To this end, the Taraba state government has flagged off a tree planting campaign as part of the federal government's goal of planting 25 million trees in Nigeria. Take a look.
Recent research indicates that trees, among other benefits, also reduce the stress of modern life. This informed the launch of the tree planting campaign by the Taraba state government. Stakeholders who explained that the initiative is in line with Five-Finger Project of the state also called on residents of Jalingo to embark on the process to achieve a more conducive and habitable environment.
The purpose of this visit is to plant tree, which is very important for our lives and to protect the degradation of our environment.
The state government says over 300 trees are ready to be planted in the state to safeguard the health of the citizens and ensure a green environment. I was in Zinc recently. The climate there is changing due to the weather condition, which suggests that if care is not taken, the state will suffer their consequences. This is why the state government ordered the plantation of trees in all the secondary and primary schools in the state. We have enough trees in our office, so whoever is interested should come to the Ministry of Agri and Food Security. We are giving them free of charge to citizens. The project, according to stakeholders, will help abate desert encroachment and restore the greenery of the environment that humans and animals need for optimum productivity.
Our rainy season is changing. The flood that we are realizing has not been like this because of the desert encroachment, because of the climate change due to overheat of the atmosphere, where a lot of trees has been cut down, and these trees gives us a lot of vegetation.
The whole of Jalingo, most especially the main street, there are a lot of trees planted there. So we are calling on all sundry of Jalingo to do the same, especially those who live on the main street. Every household is supposed to be planting this tree and safeguarding it.
I have seen a lot of people. I have gathered a lot of experience by the speech of other people. What they have said about the tree planting, its importance, and the hazard that cause of cutting the tree.
Trees reduce the amount of stormwater runoff, which reduces erosion and pollution in waterways and may also reduce the effect of flooding.
The Nigerian Army's 6th Division in Port Harcourt has dismantled over 20 illegal oil bunkering sites, seized 22 boats and arrested 11 suspects in a series of operations across the Niger Delta. According to a statement by the division's spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Danjuma Jonah, troops also recovered 6 arms, various cartridges, and over 118,000 liters of stolen petroleum products. The operations spanned multiple areas in Rivers, Bayelsa, and Delta states. In Rivers State, troops deactivated 4 artisanal refineries and seized 35,000 liters of stolen products in the Jigama Bile area. They also destroyed additional illegal sites in Krakarma, recovering over 14,000 liters of stolen crude oil and automotive gas. Further along the Orashi River, 2 wooden boats with 5,500 liters of condensates were impounded, and a suspect was arrested near a vandalized pipeline in Ogba, Ndoni, Egbema local government area. Bayelsa State operations saw troops deactivate 1 large illegal refinery in Nembe, recovering 30,000 liters of stolen oil. In southern Ijaw local government, 2 more sites were dismantled and 4,500 liters of stolen products were seized as well. In Delta State, following a tip-off, troops intercepted a Lexus SUV carrying 5 pump-action rifles, a Dane gun and 51 cartridges in Ethiopia West local government. 3 suspects were arrested. Additional operations in Warri South local government led to the destruction of 3 illegal refining sites and the recovery of 7,500 liters of stolen crude. Several vehicles carrying stolen products were also seized in Isoko South and Ndokwa East local government areas. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. More news after this break. Welcome back. It's still the News Hour on Trust Television. A tanker fire near Okaki Junction in Yanagwa, Bayelsa State has destroyed several shops and homes, though no lives were lost. Victim Smart Okwo from Ofoni community said he received a call about the fire and found his home, including a point-of-sale kiosk operated by his son, engulfed in flames. He claimed the fire started when police attempted to stop the tanker using a tricycle, causing the driver to lose control and the tanker to overturn. Another victim, Dennis Godwin, expressed gratitude that no one was injured but called for government assistance. Nelson Meeting, a firefighter, noted challenges in accessing the scene due to onlookers obstructing their efforts. Bayelsa State Police spokesman ASP Musa Muhammad confirmed the incident, attributing the explosion to brake failure and denying police involvement. Also, the Securities and Exchange Commission has issued a stern warning to individuals and entities involved in illegal fund management, urging them to cease operations or face strict legal action. In a statement released on Sunday, SEC Director General Emomotimi Agama reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to cracking down on investment fraud through robust enforcement measures. He emphasized that the SEC will actively target anyone engaging in fraudulent activities within Nigeria's investment sector. Agama also revealed plans to establish a capital market radio to educate Nigerians at the grassroots level about investment opportunities and the workings of the capital market. He highlighted that Sections 13A of the Investments and Securities Act 2007 grants SEC full regulatory powers over the securities and investment business in Nigeria, assuring that the Commission is dedicated to protecting investors and promoting good corporate governance among public companies. And away from Nigeria, Rwanda has reported 6 deaths linked to an outbreak of the Marburg virus, a highly infectious hemorrhagic fever similar to Ebola. The Health Ministry confirmed that around 20 patients are currently being treated for the illness. Health Minister Sabine Nsazimana indicated that most of those affected, including the deceased, are health workers. Efforts are ongoing to trace and test individuals who came into contact with them. Marburg virus, part of the filovirus family that includes Ebola, has previously caused severe outbreaks in Africa. The suspected natural reservoir is the African fruit bat, which carries the virus without showing symptoms. Human transmission occurs through contact with infected bodily fluids, with fatality rates in past outbreaks ranging from 24% to 88%. While there are no vaccines or antiviral treatments currently available, potential therapies and early candidate vaccines are under evaluation by the World Health Organization.
In Rwanda, an outbreak of hemorrhagic fever caused by the Marburg virus has been confirmed. Currently, there are 20 reported cases and 6 fatalities. The majority of those affected, as well as those who have succumbed to the virus, are healthcare personnel, particularly those working in emergency settings. The Ministry of Health, public institutions, and other partners are collaborating to identify individuals who have come into contact with both the infected individuals and those who have passed away.
And 8 Colombian soldiers lost their lives when a military helicopter on a humanitarian mission crashed near the Venezuelan border early Sunday, authorities have confirmed. President Gustavo Petro announced on X, formerly Twitter, that the soldiers were on a mission in the Vichada department located in eastern Colombia. The Air Force confirmed that the helicopter was found after a search operation in a rural area of Comaribo with no survivors. Image from local media showed the burnt remains of the aircraft scattered across a grassland. The families of the victims are receiving support while a recovery operation is ongoing, the Air Force added. This marks the latest in a string of military aircraft crashes in Colombia this year. In April, 9 soldiers died in a helicopter crash in the country's north, and in February, 4 others were killed when a Black Hawk helicopter went down en route to an airbase near the Panama border. Also in February, 5 police officers perished in a helicopter crash in the Antigua department. Although armed groups are active in many regions of Colombia, vying for control and power, they have not been linked to any of these incidents. Some experts suggest that aging and deteriorating military equipment may be a contributing factor. And at least 170 people have died in Nepal following devastating floods triggered by relentless monsoon rains. Residents of Kathmandu returned to mud-caked homes on Sunday, grappling with the aftermath of widespread destruction. Flooding and landslides are common in South Asia during the June to September monsoon season, but experts warn that climate change is intensifying these disasters. Kathmandu's neighborhoods were submerged over the weekend as rivers swelled and highways were cut off by debris. In one incident, 35 people were killed when a landslide buried vehicles on a highway south of the capital. The Home Ministry reported that 42 people are still missing, with more than 3,000 rescued so far. Some areas received record rainfall, with the Kathmandu airport recording its highest in over 2 decades. The Bagmati River and its tributaries overflowed, inundating homes and forcing residents to flee. Many had to be rescued by helicopter and motorboat, with more than 3,000 security personnel deployed. Humanitarian organizations, including the Red Cross, are providing relief, distributing hygiene kits and setting up evacuation centers. Domestic flights resumed on Sunday after cancellations due to severe weather. And in sports, Rivers United continued their unbeaten streak with a 2-0 victory over Enyimba in Port Harcourt on Sunday, courtesy of goals from Ubong Friday and Seyefa Jackson. The win puts Rivers atop the standings with 10 points from 4 games. Meanwhile, at the Bako Kontagora Stadium in Minna, Niger Tornadoes were held to a 1-1 draw by Bendel Insurance. Jonas Emmanuel put Tornadoes ahead just 5 minutes after the break, but Vincent Okeke leveled for Insurance at the hour mark. Tornadoes remain unbeaten in the Nigeria Premier Football League this season. In Maiduguri, El Kanemi Warriors drew 2-2 with Plateau United. Victor Dawa and Gafar Saka gave El Kanemi a 2-goal lead, but Plateau United fought back with strikes from Ibrahim Mustafa and Samaila Bello. Also, Super Eagles captain William Troost Ekong scored his first goal for Al Khaloud in their 4-2 home defeat to Al Hilal. Troost Ekong converted from the spot 3 minutes from time to reduce the deficit for the home team. The 31-year-old has made 5 league appearances for Paulo Duarte's side this season. League leaders Al Hilal led 4-0 through goals from Khalidou Koulibaly, Malcolm Ali Al-Bulaihi and Rena Lodi. Haman Al-Hamamis reduced the deficit for Al Khaloud 19 minutes from time. The hosts have recorded just 1 win in the Saudi top flight this season. They occupy 12th position on the table with 4 points from 5 games. And before we go, let's meet the creative force behind the beloved children's entertainment character, Bola Edwards. She is a multifaceted artist and entrepreneur who has dedicated her talents to crafting engaging and educational content for children with a focus on celebrating African heritage. Her family joins Edwards on this journey. Take a look.
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Wura, but everybody likes to call me Grandma Wura. Well, I like to tell stories straight from the heart of Africa.
Tell you something you've never heard and blow your mind. Once upon a time, I'll tell you stories from Africa.
As a child, I grew up on all the Sesame Street. I grew up on Newsmo and all of this Western entertainment. I also grew up a lot on the Tales by Moonlight as well, and the Uncle Jimmy's show. And so I get the children. They want to see things that look like Walt Disney and all of that. So I get them. That's also one of the reasons why in Proud African Roots, what we do is we make our content look very exotic with all the colors and the characters that we create. Hello, children. Welcome to Grandma Wura's Story Hut, where my stories give you wings and fly you on an African adventure. We had a challenge because when we got to the platforms, they were more eager to collect, to buy contents from, the usual places they had gotten them from, which is, outside the country, international content and all of that. And when you come with yours, it's like, we don't have money for this and all of that. It was quite discouraging initially, but we decided, okay, you know what? We're not going to allow this to stop us from doing what we need to do and getting the message out there.
If you seek her, Africa.
Hello, children, mommies, daddies, schools, and everyone. The show, and it was African-centered as well. It was quite Afrocentric, yet really exciting and beautiful.
As I was driving through the woods,
Come with me on a journey.
The feedback has been amazing. Parents, families, teenagers are excited to see themselves on TV, to see their peers on TV, say, you know what, I can be a star as well on television. So that is creating opportunities for them. Also, this same thing has opened doors to the African No Filter, which recently sponsored the climate change podcast that we did.
Performing on theater, doing a lot of things since I was like 9, I think, when I was really young, and growing into it. It's kind of like I've been growing with the production as well. So the ideas are also growing, and I'm using that awareness, the awareness that I'm gaining every time, to sort of reach the audience. The audience is always changing.
Once upon a time, I told you stories from Africa. Fun enough to make you laugh.
Well, there you have it. We wrap up the bulletin on a colorful note. With that, we end the news hour tonight. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social platforms and catch our live stream on YouTube for more news, programs, and documentaries. My name is Sagir Ibrahim, and on behalf of the crew, have a good night.